The reason why this book is so long is because the sex goes on for 4 fucking chapters. Welcome to another reading vlog. So in this reading vlog, we're going to read the Corsair Brothers series. In this vlog, we're going to read the 3 published books in the Corsair Brothers series. So that's Adiron, Kaspar, and Straik. So currently, Matthias is being written right now by Ruby Dixon on her website. And yes, but I'm not planning to read it since I wanted to read it when it's already in its published form. If you wanted to read this series, unfortunately you can't read this, or you can read this on its own, but I highly suggest that you read first the Corsairs, the original Corsairs series, and then the Risdaverse series, because that 3 series are connected to each other. Okay, so for the update, right now I'm currently in the 40% mark of Adiron, and I'm really liking it. So this one is about, obviously, the Vasith brothers. If you have read the Corsair series and the Risdaverse series, then you'll know them. So the Vasith brothers are actually the brother of the main heroine in the last book in the Corsair series. So they are the brothers of Zoe, and in this one we're focusing on the 3 of them, and their mission was actually introduced in When She Belongs. In this one, they are searching for the buoyant star, and they have found a distress signal with it. And along the way, they are captured by Lord Straik. These people, or these Masaka people, are actually pirates or space pirates. So that's so in space they are called Corsairs, so it means space pirates. So they received a distress signal from the buoyant star coming from a galaxy where the ice planet or the Nathoth was placed. There are four people in that ship, in the buoyant star. So there goes our heroine, which is Jade, and then 2 other humans, which is Alice and Ruth, and a Kwaraaki woman, which is Helen. So, and in order to survive, what they are doing is that they are sending distress signals to, then whenever these ships tried to help them, they are robbing them of their goods, and then sending them out to their vessels, and then to whichever part of the galaxy. And that's what they're doing. But in this time, since both the Corsair brothers and Lord Straik was searching for the buoyant star, so they both have a goal of getting the pirate vessel. And then they didn't know that these 3 humans and a Kwaraaki was responsible for this ship. And yeah, so and it's a lot, and I'm actually liking the dynamics between Adiron and Jade. So Jade and her friends was enslaved, and they were formerly placed in a stasis pod, but were woken up and abused by. They are surviving for 3 years alone in that asteroid belt. And yeah, so when they meet, Adiron was immediately interested or attracted with Jade, and he's really a goofball, and I really like his personality. And he gives this lazy, very gullible personality, or outward personality, but in reality he's actually really smart, And I like his personality a lot because he's not taking everything seriously, and he's always there, and I love his humor, and he's always making me smile, as well as his POVs are really cute and adorable because he's like a himbo, and he's really dedicated and looking out for our heroine, which is Jade. And Jade, on the other hand, is she's the leader of their crew, and she's really a great leader because she's not just deciding for herself, but she really takes care of her crew, and they are looking for her thoughts and advice because they trust her to with their life and to made the most applicable or appropriate decisions for them. And yes, and I like it a lot. And in this one, we actually have seen which human woman will the Vasithai brothers and Lord Straik will end up with. And I'm really interested with each of the pairings dynamics, but I can't wait to read the other books in this series because it's very interesting. And aside from that, we have also known that we're going to get a future Aani crew series, which is for the Darkened Eye, which is the Darkened Eye is the name of the current vessel or current pirate ship of Lord Straik, and he is actually freed Aani soldiers or gladiators and employed them on his ship. And yes, so anyway, that's for another video or another topic. But in this one, Adiron and Jade are really cute together. And right now, it's actually a lot of things already happened, and I'm feeling kind of over the place with everything that's happening right now, because I think if this is the first time that you're going to read Ruby Dixon books or series, and you haven't read either the Corsair series or the Risdaverse series, then I think you're going to be very confused as to what I'm saying. Since Jade and Adiron were forced into a situation where they need to have a forced proximity situation, it's really interesting with this one because they are in the Buoyant Star, and they are just there waiting for the other pairings. Far from where I am, they are Adiron asked Jade on a date night. They did that by asking her through noodles. My long update for this clip, and I'll update you once I have progressed forward or have something to say in regards to the next happenings in this book. I just wanted to say that the 30 talk in this book is so, and I really like Adiron's attitude and his carefree personality, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. And I finished reading Corsairs Adiron, and I'm giving it 5 stars, and I really like it. It's one of Ruby Dixon's books that are very light-hearted, and I really like our hero in this one, Adiron, and he's such a himbo, and his attitude, his personality is very refreshing and very sunshine kind of vibes feels for me, and I really enjoyed reading from his perspective because he's like a go with the flow kind of guy, but he's also smart, and he's very dedicated to Jade, which is our heroine. And I like how the story progresses in this one, and I really like that we have seen other characters from the other books that we have read from before. So we have seen here the Jabberwock crew from the Corsairs, the original Corsair series, then Sophie and Jerok from When She Belongs, and Bethaya, which we have seen a couple of times in the Risdaverse series. So I really enjoyed this one, and it's really interesting, and I really like Miss Ruby Dixon's concept and her and how she writes chemistry between our main protagonists. And if I were to be asked if I'm recommending this one, if I'm going to recommend this one to be your first Ruby Dixon book, I think I would say no, because if you really wanted to experience or to relate, or not to relate, but to have a stronger connection with our characters, not just our main protagonists but also the side characters, because they have a um, they have a page presence, or a a necessary page presence in this book. So if you want that experience, I suggest that you read this by publication order, or by what Ruby Dixon said in the Goodreads page on how to read this. So I suggest that you read first Prison Planet Barbarian, and then go with the main Corsair series, and then after that read Risdaverse, and specifically until When She Belongs, and then after that you can now go to Corsairs Adiron. So yeah, so that's my thoughts for this first book in the series. And before we go to Corsairs Kaspar, let's talk about how am I feeling, or what's my thoughts about the next book in the series. So for me, initially I really am much more resonating, or much more inclined towards Adiron, because he's very happy and sunshine, and he has a charisma and a very light-hearted attitude and outlook in life, and I'm gravitating usually towards that kind of person, because I am not like that in real life. So I wanted to be surrounded by happy sunshine people. So yes, at the end of this book, we have known that Kaspar and Alice, they are in an escape pod, and from what we have learned from Betaya, the escape pod was launched into somewhere in the galaxy. And yeah, so that's what we know so far about Kaspar and Alice, and I'm looking forward to reading the next book, because we don't really have much information about their whereabouts, except that fact that they are both thrown out into the space. So for me, they are not really my most anticipated couple to read in this series, because Kaspar is too uptight for me, and Alice, I haven't have enough time to connect with her based from this book. So if I were to ask right now what's my rating for the couples based on my excitement on their dynamics together, so at the very top I'll put Adiron and Jade, and then the second one is Matairas and Helen, and then the third one is Straik and Ruth, and then the last one is Kaspar and Alice. So I'll update you once I have something to say with regard to Kaspar. So I'm in the 39% mark of Kaspar, and our hero Kaspar just made a very terrible decision. Just lied to Alice about what he saw on the trees back then, and it's really frustrating to me, because I don't like it when someone in the relationship lied to the other, and basically it's a deliberate miscommunication. And I can see now that this lie that Kaspar did that the that and I'm assuming that he did that because he wanted to protect her and to not make her feel scared, or to comfort her like that. But in reality, for me, I'd rather someone tell me what's happening than lie to me, because she's not going to be aware of the situation, and she might put herself in situation that might endanger her, and that sucks. And right now I can see this as the conflict, or yeah, the conflict of this book, and it's really frustrating me right now because um it feels like Kaspar didn't give Alice the chance to decide for herself, or to basically withholding information is still lying to me, and I really don't enjoy that so far in this book. And but aside from that, and right now I'm really finding it hard to continue because I'm because I kind of because I've kind of know already what's going to happen, and I think our heroine will be in a dangerous situation, and it's really frustrating. And the thing about this kind of trope, or when this plot device was already shown to us, is that I just dreaded the reading experience before the conflict happens, because I just can't shut off my brain thinking about when is this going to happen. So yes, and aside from that, I like the talk about consent in this one, and Kaspar is the one who told Alice that, because they had a in a previous chapter they had a what do you call this, a situation where Alice wants to know something from Kaspar's datapad, and Kaspar is hiding something because he doesn't want her to know about his lungs condition. And what Alice did is, because Alice know that time that detail of the Misakas are very sensitive, and she so in order to get the information that she wanted to know, she hold or grab detail of Kaspar, and Kaspar basically told her that what she did is wrong, because she's doing sexual things in order for him to give to what she wants, and she acknowledges it. And but before that, Kaspar said that it's wrong, and then Alice said that in order for since she grabbed his tail, he should also grab her boobs. And Kaspar Kaspar naturally felt icked about it, because he doesn't want to do that, because that's basically not right. And he told her that it's not right to, just because someone do it to you, you should also do it to them, especially when the context in this one is she wants to get something from him, and she immediately realizes her mistake and apologize appropriately to him. And yes, so I like the discussion, even if it's short, about consent, and how Kaspar was very vocal about it, despite him being kind of a simp for Alice. And he really emphasizes the consent, and in this one, because not only not only women, or women presenting individuals were the ones being harassed or experiencing those things, but also men. So I appreciate that in this one, we get to see Kaspar assert himself, and Alice to learn from to learn and Alice to acknowledge her mistake and to apologize and learn from it. And yes, so that thing I um appreciate. But yes, so that's basically what happens right now, and I'm just taking my time reading this book because it's, for me personally, I'm feeling like this Corsair Brothers series are too long for what it is, and it isn't as it doesn't hook me as much as the original Corsair series does. And yes, and it's too long. It's just too long. Anyway, that's my update for right now, and let's see each other in my next update. Hello, so first of all, I just wanted to acknowledge that it's been a month since my last update in this reading vlog. But yeah, so I'm having a hard time finishing this one because for me, I think this book is too long, and right now I'm currently in chapter 50, and the first line is 2 months later, and I was like, bitch, this is too long. Why is this too long? This can't be it. And I'm having and to be very honest with you, I'm having a very hard time finishing this one because of that, because I just want this to be over, and it seems like the end is too far away. Yeah, so I don't know. with the pace that I'm having right now, I don't know if by the time that I finish Straik, the book for Matairas was already out, so we don't know. And I hope it will not come into that, because that means a lot of my phone storage or my memory storage will be occupied by this clip, so I hope not. And let's just hope that I can finally finish this book this month. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to go back to bed, and I don't know, I just wanted to sleep already. Anyway, that's my update for now. It's too fucking long, and Ruby Dixon, why? So I just finished reading Corsairs Kaspar last night, and finally, I am finally done with that book. So I just wanted to give a wrap-up review for it before we continue to Straik naman. So first of all, I wanted to mention again the consent, that I love that how in this book we are shown how Kaspar really set his boundaries, and basically asserting himself, and really standing up for his boundaries, because usually in romance novels, or not in romance novels but in general, the women or the female identifying person was the one who's always advocating for consent or setting their boundaries. But in this one, we also see male identifying person do it, and I really appreciated that, because women or female identifying people were not the only one who needs to assert their boundaries and to advocate for consent, and to be respected in general, because also male identifying people and non-binary folks also have that and need to do that as well. So anyway, that's a good thing that we've seen in this what do you call this, in this book. And okay, let's now talk about the book itself. So for me, it is too long, which is because since this one was started as a serial, I can see that. But Miss Ruby Dixon has an editor, so why does it have to be this long? Because the first half of this book is really boring and too long for me. And to be honest with you, I really I don't like it. I mean, but I appreciate it, but I feel like it shouldn't be that long because the entire first half of the book revolves around their survival situation in the jungle in that planet. But I don't know, it I mean, I see a lot of things that could have been cut, and I don't know, it's just I don't like. And aside from that, the characters Kaspar and Alice are very annoying as well during the first half of the book, which is um I think very accurate because if you really have to endure each other or interact with each other for 24/7 and do that a couple of months, I think it will be really annoying. But I don't know, they're kind of annoying at that time. But then from the 62% mark and until the end, it's very good na for me, and I can say that the second half of the book really saved the book for me. And the second half is so fast, and every plot points, every action scenes or action points of the story happened at the second half of the book, and I enjoyed that a lot more. To be honest with you, I I was reading the first half of this book for more than a month na already, while the second half of this book I read in just 3 hours, I think, last night. So that's how fast the second half of the book. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to say about that. And then I'm also excited for Salvatore's book. I hope he got his own book someday. And also for Cruel Den the Ruiner. And I know that he's going to be featured in Bad Guy, and I'm really excited to read that na. And yeah, so aside from that also, so far, to be very honest with you, the this series is kind of kind of meh for me, like because my standard for Ruby Dixon is the Ice Planet Barbarians and Corsair series, so as well as the Aspect and Anchor. So for me, it's not bad. This series is not bad. It's just that compared to her other series, this was one of the middle of the road okay feeling for me. I didn't really feel too much emotion. I didn't feel excited reading the next book in the series. Even though I gave the first book Adiron 5 stars and this one 4 stars, it feels okay to me. In Ruby Dixon's standard, it's an okay book. But if it is going to be compared to other romance, specifically sci-fi romance book, it is very definitely on top of my list. But in terms of Ruby Dixon herself, this is in the middle for me. So anyway, I am much more excited with Matayras and Helen's story, which is so bad. I mean, not bad, but so bad for me because their story was currently being written by Ruby Dixon on her website and FB. What do you call this? As a serial. So I think it's going to be published in the second half of this year, or if not, early next year. So I don't know. I hope that I can still, because I'm not going to read a serial written book. I wanted it to be already already a book, like I can buy the book like that and read it whenever I want, and read it how long I wanted to read it. Anyway, so I am much more excited with that, and I hope, though, because I what do you call this? I tried to start Straik a while ago, and it has, I think, until chapter 96. And why? I was hoping that Straik won't be that long, but I hope it is not dragging as the first half of this book, because that sucks. Anyway, I'm still excited for the overall macro plot of this book, because it introduces a lot of things, and I loved how interconnected Ruby Dixon's books are, and this is definitely a great Rubyverse. So anyway, this book has a tropes of survival, forced proximity, and a spoiler, which is surprise baby. So that's it. I give it 4 stars, and yeah, so that's my update for now. And I will try to read Straik fast, but if the first half, or if it is too boring, then I'm not going to force myself to read it every day, so that so it will not affect my reading mood. Anyway, so that's my update for Corsairs Kaspar. And so far, in my top 1 is Corsairs Adiron, and then this is in top 2. Let's see where Straik will go and where Matairas will go next. So that's all for me for this update. I'll see you once I have something to say for Straik. Hello, so I'm actually at the 63% mark here, and so far it's really fast. So actually, I have read the first 30% of this book yesterday, and this one is going by so fast, and it kind of shocked me, because the last book, Corsairs Kaspar, was too slow for my liking, and so I'm happy that at least in this one it's much more faster. And I don't know, it's just so fun. I didn't expect it, because I don't like Straik as a character based from what we've seen of him on the first book. And I'm really surprised, because my expectations for him and Ruth are very low, and so I don't know, I'm enjoying the reading experience right now. And we're actually at the part where they're having a vacation. So they're having a vacation at the Jiri 4 planet, and in this one, I also appreciate that Straik purposefully, or he made his skin pierced, because in their culture, in the Mesaka culture, if you really to show your desire for your spouse or your significant other, the males usually put, or what do you call this, pierce their pins, so that their meeting with their spouse or with their mates are much more what do you call this, are much more desirable for their mates. So I appreciate that shown in here, because we can see Straik really caring for Ruth, and finally kumbaga showing his real self, his soft vulnerable self to her, and I really appreciated that. And right now, I like this more, I think, because there's a lot of things that happen during because right now I'm in the 63% mark, so all throughout, from what I've read, there's constant action, and it lived up to what I expected for this series, because this one, at the end of the day, is about Corsairs or space pirates. So for me, at least in my mind, space pirates equals actions and adventures. And so I think the second book, the previous book that I have read, which is about Kaspar, it for the first half of that book, it didn't show the action that I wanted. It didn't explore the universe or the space. So now I kind of I kind of can pinpoint why I didn't like that book, aside from the survival aspect in it. But in this one, it's very much appreciated and I really am enjoying it right now. And so and also we have seen JMF again. So we actually first seen him on When Shippers, him and Betaya, but in this one he's featured again, and I can't wait for him to have his own book as well as Betaya's book. So I don't know if they're going to be a couple, but I don't care. I just want to see more of him and more of Betaya someday. So I don't know if they're going to have their own book. Well, I hope so. I hope so. To be honest, I don't think if they're going to have a book, whether it is about the two of them or separate books for them, I think it will not be in this series, and I think it will be on another series or a new series, and I think it will not be included in the Darkened Eye. So I don't know much, but that's my theory for now. Anyway, that's my update for this clip, and I just wanted to update you that since I'm really losing my sleep over this, and I usually am sleeping at 4 in the morning because of this, because I'm having an insomnia, and this one I'm reading books at least right now is kind of my cure or kind of what makes me fall asleep, or at least because I can sleep and I can force myself to sleep. Reading books is a productive way of passing time. At least for me. I don't know if that's healthy, but yeah, so that's all for my update right now. It's very dark in here, and as we can see, because I was not sleeping early, I usually sleep early in the morning, so it's already 4 a.m. So I'm having a pimples again, so I put some ointment to hinder their growth. Hopefully. And anyway, that's my update for now, and I'll see you once I think once I finish the book, because I don't think I'm going to say more or have any more comments or commentary along the way, unless something really shocking or really fun happened. So anyway, let's see you, or I'll see you in the next clip. So I just finished reading 5 consecutive chapters, and you know what? I realized something, that the reason why this book is so long is because the sex goes on for 4 fucking chapters. Hello everyone, so we're finally at the end of this reading vlog. So first of all, I just wanted to say that please excuse my face right now. So I just put some ointment on my emerging pimples. And okay, I just wanted to say that I don't get myself, because I know what's good and what's bad for me, but still I'm still staying, or I'm still sleeping at 4 a.m. in the morning. And I don't know. Yeah, so anyway, let's now go to the to what you came here, so the review of the book. So actually I finished Straik, Corsairs Straik 2 days ago, and I just had the motivation. Well, actually I still don't have the motivation to film anything or to do the reviews of the books that I have finished, but might as well rip that bandage off and just do it. So here I am. Anyway, so Corsairs Straik is actually my favorite in this series so far, and is actually one of my favorite Ruby Dixon books. So okay, so I have, as usual, my outline or my talking points in here, the pacing, the plot, and the action. So for me, this is actually very fast paced, and it's so hot in here, so I'm just going to fan myself. Anyway, so this one is very fast paced, which is which I didn't expect, because the first two books, Adiron and Kaspar, are actually disappointed me in terms of the pacing, because for me, both of those books are too long and too slow for my liking. But in this one, I am actually and genuinely surprised, because I didn't expect because, to be very honest with you, based on my ranking before, or my expectation before reading this series, Straik is not it. Like, I'm not that excited, and I don't have that much of high expectations with regard to Straik, because um I'm supposed to talk about this later, but I just want to say here that Ruth and Straik were not my favorite characters that we've seen since the introduction in Corsairs Adiron. So that's what I'm going to say for now. But yeah, so this one is very fast paced, and there's a lot of action in here, and all of the actions are very fun, and I never felt bored while reading this book. So I read it. This is the book in the series that I've read so fast. Like, I think it took me 2 days. Yeah, so I genuinely enjoyed it. And aside from that, I also like that there's a lot of plot that happened, and there's a lot of plot and action that happened, and what I realized is that the reason why I like this the most is because this one explores space a lot. Like, it is not like Adiron, where they are in the ship majority of the time, in the buoyant star, and not like Corsairs Kaspar, where in half of, or more than half of the book, they are in the jungle, and then after that they are in the they are saved by Mataya. I forgot what happened. Anyway, this one I liked because we got to explore the space more, and I don't know, because if you're giving me space pirate, then might as well show me the space aspect in the story. So that's why this one I really enjoyed the most. And okay, so let's now go to the next point that I wanted to talk about, which are the side characters. So we actually have seen here, I list all of the side characters that I am genuinely happy that we are able to see in this book. So we've got to see JMF. So I still don't know if he's going to be the, what do you call this, the mate of Betaya, or if he's going to have his own book wherein he has a separate storyline from her. And then, but I'm definitely excited to read his own book, because I know that he's going to have his own book soon, and I don't know, I'm just happy. And then aside from that, we also got to see Salvatore. So Salvatore is actually the clone that helped Kaspar and Alice escape the jungle planet, moon planet, where Lord Sir resides, or yeah. So he's the clone. So okay, so I'm genuinely excited to see him, because he's very fun. And to be honest with you, the reason why I loved the last part of Corsairs, I hate a lot of R's and S together. So anyway, the reason why I like that last 30% of Corsairs Kaspar is because of Salvatore, because he's really pure, and he's just genuinely I genuinely just he's just really pure and very cute. And then in this one, we actually got to see him with Dopek. So as we all know, Dopek, or I don't know if I've mentioned it in Adiron, but we have met the Darkened Eye crew on the first book, and they are composed of the Aani clones that are freed by Straik. And is now working with him in the Darkened Eye. So Dopek is the former head of security, and yeah, he's the former head of security, and he has a secret, which is, to be honest with you, the way what's her name, Ruth handled, or because Dopek's secret is that he is gay and he is feeling a attraction towards his crewmate. So, and in this one, because all of the clones, or the male clones, are look-alikes of each other because they are made from the same lab and from the same genetic material. So it's kind of weird because they are kind of they look like twins, something like that. They look like twins, and so it's weird to read, or and which is what do you call this? Which is stated din naman in the book that it's weird for Dopek to felt attraction towards his crewmate. But if you're going to think about it, he was constantly surrounded by only the crew, which is the Aani the Aani personnel in the Darkened Eye and Straik. So that's the only connection that he had, and they are the ones that's around him during the time wherein he's still exploring. So upon meeting the other crew, meeting Salvatore, he was able to get to know more people and to kind of see more and explore more, something like that. So I really enjoyed seeing their because they have kind of a tryst together, and they're kind of funny, but they are genuinely they balance each other well, because Salvatore is very fun and very, he doesn't think too hard on things. Like, he's just go with the flow and just do kind of dumb but happy and fun things. So, and in not in complete opposite of that, but Dopek, on the other hand, was very shy, and because what they call it, Salvatore is the one who is very provocative and very he's kind of the extroverted one, and then Dopek is the one who's very shy and very reserved, and he always blushes, and he's so cute. And oh, I just wanted to mention when Straik assumed that Dopek is in love with him, it made me laugh because the audacity of this man. Anyway, so in this one, so okay, let's now go to the next side character. So in this one, we met Ruthie. So Ruthie is the what do you call this, clone twin or clone twin that is also a splice of the original Ruth. So both of our Ruth here, so Ruth and Ruthie, are both came from the same brain. So basically in this one, they talk about the original Ruth's I don't like R. So the original Ruth's brain was spliced or dissected and separated from each other, from the whole, and from those part of the brain, they created a clone of the original Ruth. So the original Ruth will still have what I mean is, the clone Ruth will have the wait I'm getting delirious, it's really hot in here. So the cloned Ruth that got the piece of brain of the original Ruth will have that memories, will have some part of, which is technically scientifically speaking not accurate, but I'm not reading this book academically. I'm just having fun, so it's okay. I don't care. So basically, we have Ruth and Ruthie. Both of them have different memories stored in them. But anyway, I like Ruth, and in this one, we get to see her getting getting with Kazex, and Kazex is actually the one Dopek was crashing on before Salvatore came. So and he's the current head of the security. So Ruby Dixon also told in her author's note that they're going to have a story of their own. So there's going to be another series adjacent to this, which will revolves around the darkened eye. So I'm really excited for that. I was since there are a lot of characters, or there are a lot of hero characters, yes, in the or there are a lot of mentioned Aani personnel in the Darkened Eye, and all of them have their name. So as we all know from Ruby Dixon's character Chenes, if they have a name, then they are probably going to have a book of their own. So I'm really excited for that. Aside from that, okay, let's now go to the last side characters that I wanted to talk about which is Helen and Mathyra. So in this one, Helen is really cute, and I this one just made me feel more excited to read Corsairs Mathyras. And I'm not going to read the serial in this reading vlog because I don't want to wait. So I'll just wait for the actual book when everything was compiled and edited and there's an epilogue already. So I'll just wait for that on my Kindle. And then yeah, so I'm excited for them, and in the ending of this one, they're really cute, and how Mathyras is very he thinks that he's very gentleman like that, and I don't know. I'm excited for that. Okay, and now let's go, since it's 16 minutes already. I talked a lot, so let's now go to the main characters, which is Ruth and Straik. Why did I forget his name? Anyway, so to be very honest with you, back then in the first book, which is Corsairs Adiron, these two, Ruth and Straik, were actually not that interesting for me. So I'm not actually impressed with them. And but to be very honest with you, this book really surprises me because of that. Because they have a lot, for me, they showed they showed a lot of themselves compared to the first two main characters in the first two books. So I love their hate to love aspect and their banters, and we get to see depth in them because from what I perceived of them based on the first book, Ruth is like a very whiny and very she feels like a troublemaker for me, and that's all. And then Straik is a spoiled brat. But in this one, we get to see their depth. So Ruth is very despite her being kind of a troublemaker, she still has a soft heart, and she actually feels hurt easily, but she uses her tenacity, her words, and her actions to as a coping mechanism or to defend herself. So I really enjoyed seeing her as who she is as a person and not just a character written. So I enjoy that she has depth. And aside from that, she's also very sweet. She's also very sweet, and not just to Straik, but also to the crew, and sweet in a different way because she's sweet, like romantically sweet to Straik, but friendly kind of sweet to the darkened eye crew. So I really appreciated that. And then we got to see Straik, and from the outside we can see him as kind of a spoiled brat from the Sarin family or house Sarin, but we get to see that he has insecurities, and he's just lonely. He's just a lonely person, though he is spoiled. But the combination of him being spoiled and being lonely made him who he is at the present. And he basically was kind of neglected by his mother because he doesn't know his father. So he feels like he didn't felt love from the person or the people that should have showed him love or make him feel loved. And so he was he was afraid to open himself up to other people. And even though he is close to the crew from the Darkened Eye, he was not super close that they would be friends. Like, he's close to them, but there's still a division of Lord and crew. But in this one, we get to see him relax more and be what do you call this? Be trusting of other people. And though it's not resolved immediately, because in reality, trusting other people or learning how to trust other people takes a lot of time. I'm glad that it is really shown here that there are times that he is very what do you call this? He is there are times wherein he kind of have thinks that the crew was starting a mutiny against him. And then there is a constant what do you call this? Constant thing at the back of his mind that his crew will betray him despite that. So I think it's realistic, and I like how Ruby Dixon showed us the complexity and vulnerability of Straik that we have not seen from the point of view of the other characters from the first two books. So I really appreciated this book because of that. And both of them together, Ruth and Straik, really complements each other a lot. And most of all, I liked how Ruth encourages Straik to be much more relaxed and to be trusting of people around him, and especially her because they're mates. So anyway, so I really enjoyed that. And then let's now go to the last point that I wanted to talk about, which is, to be honest with you, I don't know how I'm going to talk about this one, because my outline are just very, like, it's just a very what do you call this, very one line outline kind of thing. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about is the concept of clones and individuality. So in this one, we've seen this one for me is the book with a lot of discussions about clones. So the Darkened Eye, the crew and the Darkened Eye are all Aani clones. So there are the red-skinned male that we actually, or at least I actually first met or read about in the Ice Home series. But in this one, aside from them being the clone, we also get to know that Ruth is a clone, and we get to see Ruthie as I've mentioned a while ago, and they're both clones of the original Ruth. And aside from that, we get to see Krulden the Ruiner, which is also a clone on the Risda tree, and was held by Lord Varric Sarin. Lord Vari. Oh, I forgot his name, but he's Lord V. So and his uncle. So his uncle Lord V. I'll just call him that. So I forgot. So anyway, so clones and individuality. So in this one, Ruth kasi upon knowing or before meeting Ruthie, she was have an inclination, or she's confused, or she's already thinking that why does she not remember everything. So actually this thinking whether they are a clone or not was, we've seen this before from Alice in the second book, but it was not explored much, because when the DNA markers show that Alice was not a clone, then it's like Ruby Dixon foreshadowed it, but she didn't explore it that much in Alice's case. But in this one, we get to see Ruth as she's really she's really a clone. So after confirming her theory, or because she's kind of suspecting na that she is a clone, but she is a clone or she has a clone. So but upon meeting Ruthie and knowing that both of them are clones, she had, or they had, both of them had kind of a not mental breakdown, but they kind of retreats to themselves and was questioning their, at least Ruth. I can't speak for Ruthie because we only got to see her from Ruth's point of view. So so I'll just talk about Ruth na lang. So Ruth kasi was contemplating or thinking about her individuality, and because they are from one source, both of them, Ruth and Ruthie, came from the original Alice. What does that mean for her as a person or as an individual? And what does it mean for the two of them? Because in her mind, realistically speaking, like they are of the same person. It's just that their memories are different, or the memories given to them are different. But we get to see the Dark and I crew, specifically Dopek, assuring her that just because you were cloned, like the physical aspect or physical body of yours were cloned, doesn't mean that the personality and the attitude that you have is exactly the same as the other clone. So Dopek told her that all of the crew were clones of each other, but despite that, they still have differences, which they still have differences and unique personalities and quirks that is very unique to each of them. And Ruth, and we actually get to see that because I'm just summarizing here, but we actually get to see their differences. Like I forgot his name, but one is a pilot, and then one is an engineer, and then they basically have different skill set as well, and their what do you call this, and their hobbies, not hobbies, but and their preference or likes and dislikes, they have different of those. And so we see here that despite being the same, not everyone is still the same as another. Like I don't know what's my point of this, but I just wanted to talk about that. And the concept of I'm sorry if I'm not making sense, but I just wanted to talk about the concept of individuality. And even if no matter how much times you are cloned, like each clone or each thing is still different from each other, and no matter how small it is, there's still a difference. There's no way that you can clone or you can be like somebody entirely, like 100% like somebody, or and I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm getting delirious na ata. Anyway, I enjoyed how we've seen that, how Miss Ruby Dixon showed us individuality, and accepting that accepting what happened to you, but accepting accepting what's happening around you, but not let it dictate how you choose to go on with your life. Like, yes, you are a clone. Yes, you got this news that is kind of a bad news for you, but at the end of the day, your action on how are you going to address it, or how are you going to move forward after that, is what matters. So I just I don't know what's the point of me talking about this, but I just really appreciate that, and I like that exploration in here. So yeah, so that's all. Wait. Yeah, so that's all that I wanted to talk about Straik. So I'm genuinely happy, and I'm really happy to end this reading vlog with a 5-star, and not just a 5-star but also an all-time favorite read. So yeah, so I gave it 5 stars, obviously. And I highly recommend it. And yes, so I am enjoying this so far. So to be very honest with you, to wrap it all up, the Adiron didn't really enticed me to read the entire series. The reason why I continued is because I trusted Ruby Dixon, and I genuinely want to read Matyras's story. I can't be rogue and read his book without reading the others. So especially when I know that Ruby Dixon is a kind of author where it builds up, the macro plot builds up as the series or as the books progresses. So that's it. And the first 2 books are a really disappointment for me, especially the second book. But in this one, I'm liking that this one really saved the series for me, and I can't wait. And I hope that Matyras's and the Helen's story, or the next book or the last book in this series, will be the same as this one, the same as this one. And yeah, I hope that I will enjoy it. And that's everyone. So I forgot that there's a short story with the Corsair Brothers nga pala on Ruby Dixon's website. And so before I wrap this all up, I just wanted to tell you my review of that short story. So that short story is the Corsair Brothers Yule, which was posted in her website, and it's just a fun short story with our character so far. What do you call this? Preparing and celebrating Christmas, and so it's just so fun to read, and I love seeing them together as a family and interacting with each other. And this one should be read after Straik, because the situation was placed right after or right before the epilogue, or right after the last chapter in Straik. So yes, I really enjoyed that, and I highly recommend it because the tease for Matyras and Helen is so great, and I can't wait. And now I can't wait to read their story soon. So yeah, so that's a short update about that, because I forgot. But yeah, so that's it. I I also forgot to mention that Lucy, our heroine from When She's Bold in the Risdaverse series, was also had a cameo in this one, and it's so cute. And anyway, so basically you should read this one after reading When She's Bold, and after reading Straik, so that you'll be able to recognize Lucy, and just experience the warmth in Risda. So anyway, I just genuinely wanted to know, do you read what do you call this, Ruby Dixon serialized chapters on her website and FB, or do you also wait for the complete book to be published before reading it? I just genuinely wanted to know, because for me personally, I don't like reading that, like serialized chapters, or I don't know what to call it, but the serials that Miss Ruby Dixon was doing, because I don't want to be, first of all, I don't want to be spoiled, especially if I know that because I already know that Ruby Dixon's writing style are are on par on my preference. Like, I like her writing style, and then I know that Mathayres and Helen are the characters that I'm genuinely excited to read about. So I don't want to be spoiled on what's happening about them. And aside from that, I just I also aside from that, I don't like waiting. So I from what I can remember, I think she posts once every week. I don't know if that's right, but from what I can see on my Facebook timeline, it's not she posts occasionally, like that. So I don't know. So I don't like waiting. So especially if I like the book a lot, I wanted to finish it in one go. That sucks when it comes to that definitely that definitely is not good for my sleeping schedule. But I don't care. I just, if I like a book, I wanted to finish it until my eyes close. So anyway, so please comment it down below what you do what you do what you do if you're reading the serials, or if you're just like, if you're like me, that will wait for the actual book. So yeah, so that's all for me for this reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. So please don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this video, and if you subscribe to me. subscribe and click the notification bell down below if you want to see more from me immediately. So anyway, that's all for me. Thank you so much. I post every Saturday, and yeah, so that's all. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.